Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to this module. This is the start of your new term, and we hope that this will run smoothly, and I'll be able to help you out in any way which suits your needs. My name is Hassan Mahmood, and I am your module leader as well as the module lecturer. This module was offered first time in September last year, 2019, and then I was the one who actually ran this module at that time as well, so I'm continuing it into this term. This is your first term of level 6, which will be followed by another term of level 6, and after that you should be able to graduate. We will be having a detailed look into this module, but before we going into the details of the module itself, let me introduce some key information and some key facts about this module. To start with, introduce myself. My name is Hassan Mahmood and I am with UWL for the past 1 year as an HRM module leader as well as the lecturer. I'm a part-time PH lecturer, and I have quite a bit of long experience actually in teaching and learning of human resource modules. In terms of this module, this is actually spread over 2 terms, and these 2 terms are quite distinct from each other. So your term 1 will include preparation of a consultancy proposal, which you will be submitting by the end of this term, and next in the next term you will be actually writing the module report or consultancy report for a chosen organization. This term you will be assessed only on the basis of your proposal, which is 20% of the total weightage, as well as next term you will be submitting full consultancy report, which is 80% of the total weightage, and that constitutes 100% of your module score. As undergrad, your pass marks are 40% as usual, and my contact details you can see on this screen: hassan.mahmood@uwl.ac.uk. The university or Kuala Lumpur Business School's contact details, phone number is shown on the screen. You can call them, or easiest way to contact me is to email me, and I'll try to answer your emails as soon as possible, but not later than 48 hours. So you should be patient. I have other modules to teach as well, so if you don't receive my reply within stipulated time, then you can send me a reminder as well, which I don't really mind. My job here is to facilitate you in the learning of this module and successfully qualify and pass this module in order for you to graduate as soon as you finish your studies. Looking into this module, as I said, that you will be submitting a proposal for HRM project in this term. There is also one more different aspect of this module, that we do not run classes for this module during all the 14 weeks. There are only 4 sessions which will be conducted twice a month. That means after every 2 weeks. And 4 total meetings will be in this term, and another 4 meetings will be in the next term. So total hours of contact hours in this module, online as well as face-to-face, will be 12 hours. Similarly, in the next term you will have another 12 hours of contact online as well as in the classrooms, which will be total of 24 hours in the span of 2 terms. This is how it will be run. So you are having your first, it's not really a lesson, but your first contact, which is this one. 1 hour of viewing these videos and looking into some other videos which I am posting on Blackboard, and then prepare yourself, do some additional research on this, and then we will meet for a seminar in the university. That will be a face-to-face seminar, and I hope everything would be fine in that way, and we should be successfully able to run this module together with the help of each other. To introduce this module, a basic thing or a basic aspect of this module is that it is designed to equip you guys with the professional requirements in consultancy, especially in human resource management. You know, consultancy is a very essential part of our markets, especially in human resources. A simple example is that, well, you see so many recruitment agents are out there, so many HR specialists are out there, so many HR consultancy firms are out there who are helping national, international, and global organization in maintaining some of the best human resource practices in the organization, and that alone organizations cannot do that, and for that reason they do require professional assistance from the consultancy, human resource consultancy specialist. It is also designed to enable you to understand how consultancy role can add value to the organization's progress, as well as it helps the student to identify different types of consultancy interventions and approaches. More specifically, the module will develop various skills, including how to develop consultancy cycle, planning a meeting with clients, overcoming challenges, risk assessment, building rapport or in consultancy, and developing client consultants relationship, professional communication skills, and to identify client issues. Overall, it is a very useful module that can develop a range of professional skills and broaden the students' knowledge in strategic human resource management as well as in consultancy business. Now, if you can see in this particular slide, there are some very important terminologies has been used, and these terminologies are in relation to the skills that a person should have in him or her in order to demonstrate the specialist knowledge of human resource management. I mean, communication skills are one of those skills which are required by anyone who is in the field, no matter it is human resource, marketing, sales, or any other functions they work in, but communications are some of the key requirements. But in this case, when we talk about consultancy projects, we are talking about specifically written communication skills, in particular consultancy reports. These consultancy reports are not simply something that you have information about and you will just start writing, but these consultancy reports are very specific, which highlight some of the key areas of requirement. For example, consultancy reports have a section which is called aim and objectives of the consultancy report. If you are clear of those aims and objectives, you can successfully carry out writing a consultancy report, but without that you won't be able to. Second important thing is at the end, when you start recommending the organization on the necessary and essential steps that should be taken in order to improve human resource practices. That is also another very, very important area of communication. So we will be looking in those, as well as we will be looking in developing a range of professional skills and broaden your knowledge in strategic human resource management. So all in all, you should be prepared to undertake this module as a consultant or as a skilled specialist individual, because we expect you at this level. You have come through level 3, level 4, level 5. You have learned and you have gained the knowledge which should help you out in learning the key skills in this module, and the skills you have learned in the past, you should be able to exercise these skills in this term, specifically in this module. That's why it is very important for you to brush up your past knowledge of all the modules you have studied in the past. Main aim of this module is actually to provide a detailed understanding of consultancy and consultancy process in a learning and development context, which means that you will learn, you will develop your skills, you will demonstrate those skills in the shape of a project consultancy report, or even at this stage you will be demonstrating those skills in your proposal for consultancy. And that is, though you will have step-by-step assistance from myself and the process on how to write a consultancy project report, as well as a consultancy project proposal. But at the same time, you need to do a great deal of research of your own on this topic. There's plenty of material available on internet, on the books, and on various sources. Your library is full of helping books and reference books, though you can use those reference books for your references. Further on to understanding the module aim, we will look at some of the module objectives, and these module objectives are actually your learning outcomes, and there are altogether 7 learning outcomes, where you can see the difference over here. In most of the modules you have 4 or 5 learning outcomes. In this case there are 7 learning outcomes, which also emphasize on the importance of this module and how it can play a key role in developing your practical skills in today's human resource field. Starting from learning outcome 1, which focuses on demonstrate and understanding of the meaning of consultancy and common stages in the consultancy process in a learning and development context. Second learning outcome, demonstrate an understanding of the research process and different research approaches. Now this learning outcome specifically focuses on learning the research process itself and designing a research for a certain project is also a key part of this module. Learning outcome 3 is work and manage relationship with a client on an agreed consultancy project. That means you will be preparing that consultancy project proposal in this term. That is what we call agreed consultancy project, that you have already signed off a project with one of your client organization. Learning outcome 4, conduct a critical review of information resources in an area of HR, business practice, and analyze the findings. And learning outcome 5 focuses on drawing meaningful conclusions, recommendations at the end of the learning and development solution, and evaluate options for change. Learning outcome 6 looks at your know-how to deliver clear business-focused report on an HR issue. And finally, you will be looking at supporting a client whilst implementing and evaluating a learning and development solution for a particular HR project. Now, this whole story actually revolves around a great deal of human resource issues, identifying human resource issues in an organization of your choice, and looking at how to sort out those human resource issues within an organization using available resources, both human and financial resources. All in all, this is going to be a very, very interesting module if you consider it as part of your key learning process in this qualification. This project proposal is typically a framework which identifies an opportunity or threat in the organization which potentially can be source of great benefit or reason of a loss in the organization. And the project proposal is also a marketing document that becomes the foundation of a relationship between an organization and an outsider consultant and advisor. Project proposal is an early, all the way first stage of a long-term professional relationship and foundation for something good for the organization in future. Now try to understand this very important point. It's not necessary that you will undertake this project proposal or HR project, consultancy project itself as an outsider consultant, but you can also do this as being the part of the organization or as an employee of the organization, and you have been asked to look into certain problems which are faced in the organization in relation to human resources, and try to find out the solutions for that. Your CEO may invite you to look into this matter and bring about the causes and the causes of the problem, and then sort out or suggest or recommend the solution. So it's not just being an outside consultant, but being an inside employee of the organization. In both capacities, this can work very well for you as long as you have gained the skills of consultancy project management skills in this particular term. So what are the objectives of a project proposal? Here we are now concentrating on particularly a proposal to the project and how it actually built, or why do we actually undertake a project proposal. Look at these three important points. First of which is some of the important objectives of the proposal include involving top management for a new project or a service. Second, it helps setting up the long-term organizational goals and identify the organizational priorities. And three, most importantly, it highlights the need for when to bring changes or improve range of organizational functions, including hiring decisions, budget decisions, expansion, internationalization of business, and setting up of the long-term plans. Looking at these three project objectives or project proposal objectives, we have to understand something very different as compared to a couple of decades ago. Organizations today are the most diverse organizations. These are the most multicultural organizations nowadays that we work with. Look at NHS, for example. If you go into NHS and you can see around, look around, you will find people from many different backgrounds who work there and who coordinate with each other. Similarly, in IT industry, which is also a highly diverse industry of all times actually, because you will see so many different IT experts belonging from various parts or various countries in the world. They work together under one roof or in one organization, doing the same job, trying to achieve same organizational objectives and be the part of a bigger picture. So that's why the organizations are very different. And if the organizations have changed or transformed in a different way, that means the human resource challenges also have transformed themselves from simple to more complex. Let me give you an example. Take the example of organization culture. There was a time when there was a uniform organization culture everywhere in the organization. Within an organization is the same culture which actually existed. But remember, core culture was all the time same, but the secondary culture in the organization was different. For example, people speaking a particular language, they tend to sit together during the lunch hours. Is that normal? Probably for some it might be normal, but at the same time, other people who do not understand their language may feel a little bit uncomfortable sitting in a place where a group of individuals are talking to each other in a different language. That feel of uncomfort is very common nowadays. So can we actually transform an organization culture where we can actually ask people not to speak in a regional language? Is it possible at all? I leave this question to you to answer. Similarly, let's take the example of budgetary decisions. Nowadays, organizations are working in a very intense competition. The market is very intense, and you can see how the organizations come and go at all the time. But at the same time, some of the organizations who were highly profitable had to go into a situation where they lose the profits because of because of intense competition, and their product pricing has to be re-evaluated because competition is intense. But at the same time, what impact of that is left on the overall employees? There was a time when people used to work in a very specific special skill field in the organization. Nowadays, employees are actually required to have multiple skills in the organization. So if they can do more than one jobs, or they can multitask in the organization, that is more beneficial for the organization, of course, because one person can handle more than two jobs at the same time. So these are the new challenges in the organizations nowadays, specifically in terms of human resource. Even the recruitment culture has been changed in especially in United Kingdom. Recruitment used to be an organization's internal matter. Now, recruitment is not really an internal matter. Organizations avoid wasting time on recruitment process, and they usually give this task to external recruiters or recruitment agents as we know them. So definitely challenges are different nowadays as compared to the past couple of decades. But then, despite of all of that, what benefits do we can see or seek in writing a clear project proposal? Some of these are here, but you should not be limiting your knowledge onto this slide only. Oh, there are only 6 benefits of project proposal or writing a project proposal. No, it's not. There are great many other benefits also, and I expect you to spend some time on researching online and see what are the key benefits of a clear project proposal, as well as you can see how a project proposal can impact on various individuals in the organization who will consider a project proposal a way forward, and who are the people who are expected to create obstacles in a project proposal. These are the questions which I am leaving on you to do some research on your own. But and looking at these, some of the key benefits. First, the project proposal establishes the project viability, which means, do we really need this project? If we do, what are the what are the viable or what is the actual benefit of this particular project for our organization. Similarly, it creates structure and organization's priorities. That means what is the most important things to be done in the organization in relation to human resource. Also, it proposes budget requirement for profitable projects as well as promotes business growth. Of course, when you look at some of the most advanced projects in the especially in human resources, they always bring, for example, in many years ago there used to be a challenge of it used to be a financial challenge. Rather, as an example, I can demonstrate it to you. There was a small decision that was supposed to be made, that shall we hire or shall we buy a certain asset. Many years ago, when organizations were unable to spend money on buying a major asset, they usually go for hiring it. But then it's not that simple decision to make, actually. The experts used to sit and then calculate, to make certain calculations and find out which one is more beneficial for us, buying the asset or renting the asset. And after that, they used to make a final decision. In a very similar way, in human resource management also, there are many key decisions to be made. For example, do we have our own internal recruitment process, or shall we hire somebody external to do the hiring for us? Again, this is not a simple decision. There are calculations involved in this sense. For example, a finance expert will sit together and calculate how much will it cost us to hire an external recruitment agent versus how much it's gonna cost us in terms of skills and time of our top management to get involved in recruitment process. So which one is more beneficial? And then based on that analysis and comparison, organizations make decisions to. Similarly, another decision, which is a key decision in an organization, is training and development of its employees. Whenever there is a new technology or new trends to be thought of, people have to be trained accordingly. Again, there is a decision to be made. Can we or should we recruit our own trainers and do the training internally, or shall we send our employees outside of the organization and get them trained by a third-party trainers? Again, this decision is, as though it looks very simple and straightforward, but it's not that simple and straightforward. One has to make sure that the money in the organization which is being spent on this particular aspect is as low as possible. Don't forget, we are talking about a very, very competitive markets. So this is also an important decision to be made. Then number 5 is establishes how to create a viable plan. Viable plan is, let's say we spend 10, 15, 20,000 pounds on hiring an external consultant and ask them to write a consultancy report for us. And then turns out to be that money we spent on actually external consultants was not worth the profit that we will have from that particular project, which is completely a waste of money. So this will also establish how viable this project plan could be, and finally bring structure in the operations. That means, of course, it organizes many different functions in a streamlined way, which help the organization to work on those functions one by one, eventually reaching at a point where organizations are best able to achieve their financial goals. Finally, on this part of our session, we have to look into some of the types of project proposal. First of all is what the term is used, formally solicited proposals. It is a response from the consultant in a written form for a request made by the client organization. So let's say you are a consultant and an organization, a client organization contacts you and ask you to do some HR project for you, and you go in and you look into the viability of the project, and then you prepare a proposal and give it to your client organization. So this is formally solicited, wherein you are invited by an organization to do this for you. Second is informally solicited proposal. It is an informal discussion between consultant and client, as it says very clearly, informal discussion. So there is nothing written, there is nothing signed, but just an informal. It's a kind of, for example, if you have some accounting needs as an individual and you go into an accountancy office and talk to somebody and they charge you £45 for 1 hour consultancy time, and you pay that £45 as a consultancy fee, and you talk about your accounting needs, and then later on you find out, okay, I think these information which I obtained from the accountant was quite helpful to me in making my accounting decisions. So in the same way, it's an informal discussion on certain issues rising in the organization which you wish to talk about with your potential client. Third one is unsolicited. In this case, consultant approach many different clients and offer them a project which can potentially benefit organization. A very similar, projects are, for example, student attendance record for the universities and colleges. One organization have developed, they are consultants and programmers, they have developed a certain software and certain gadgets which help universities and colleges to record the attendance of the students. So that particular software or that particular project is not meant for one single organization, but it can be bought by many different organizations for the same purpose. Fourth is continuation projects. These project proposals are the update for reminder for going and already approved projects. So a project is already ongoing, some variation takes place, and you alter your project proposal and continue with the project with an altered way of action. Fifth is renewal project. Very clear from the term renewal project. This case, a project has already been concluded, but client wants you to come in and continue on the next phase. And finally, supplemental project, when a smaller projects are required as a supplement to conclude one major project. Again, very much clear and very much self-explanatory. Supplement projects are those where a project is very big, but it needs a smaller side projects to be completed in order to conclude that major project. This is for this part of our today's lesson. Actually, this is the last slide. Now I would like you to write down your questions if you have any, and contact when we have a face-to-face session workshop in the university. Please make sure you ask those questions and you get your answers as well. I may have to look into running some sort of webinar also in order to answer these questions, but if that happens, I'll keep you informed about the time, the day, and everything else to conduct those webinars. For now, good luck to all of you and hope to see you soon in the campus. Goodbye.